Johnny's got another problem. Jimmy had an overdose, and Susie had another run-in with the one she loves the most. Kid's got another question: when's Daddy coming home? You know it's hard to face this world.
Welcome to Underkill TV here at Hard Rock Hell still, day 2, and we're joined with Fireroad, who played last night. How was that, guys? Great to see you as well. How was the gig?
Great show. I think it's the third time we've played here, and we went down a storm by all accounts, so that's good. It's a good thing, you know.
I noticed that. I was saying, I think I was talking to Gav earlier, it was the start of the show. The crowd just seemed to get bigger and bigger. Is that what it looked like from being up on the stage?
Yeah, it did. When we first started out, we thought, well, didn't know which way it was going to go. And as you could see, as the set was going along, it was filling up and the crowd response was getting better. So all good for us. Plenty of energy in the room, which is good.
How did you enjoy it? Evsy, you enjoy the gig?
Great gig.
What about you, Gav, as well?
Yeah, really good. Good vibe. It's nice to see the room full, you know. That's what we do it for, isn't it?
And obviously, you guys this year have got a new album out. Well, it came out last year. I still think of it as in the last 12 months you've got a new album out, and it's a fantastic album. One of my favourite. I think it got album of 2017 with the likes of Black Star Riders and the bands, the Professionals. It's a fantastic record.
We had Brian Agar, who we first met in Planet Rock. Was it the Winter's End Festival? And Brian's just been blown away by it, and he still sort of cites it as his album of the year, you know, and to be in the same sort of, you know, lineup with Ed Sheeran and Liam Gallagher and the Stereophonics and all these other bands, to have that sort of, you know, with that to be on the same sheet as that, you know, which was amazing for us. I mean, you know, we released it as a limited run last year, and hopefully now with a bigger release in October, it'll get, you know, the accolades it deserves. And I don't mind saying that, because we've worked hard on the songs, and you know, we're getting better all the time. And if we can use that as a platform with that album, then, you know, sky's the limit, really.
And as I said, any fans that have not checked Fireroad out before, check them out online. Where's the best place to go? Tell everybody.
Well, we got a Facebook page, so it's /Fireroad Rock. We got Twitter, which is /Fireroad Rock. Yeah, it's all on TV. And the website is www.fireroadrock.com.
So if anybody wants to check it out, just go along to this address here, or the address is, I should say, and make sure you check the videos out as well. You've got videos, Secondhand Soldier, Minute, Matinee. There's And just to put anybody that doesn't know the band in perspective, it's been sort of a whirlwind sort of 12 months for you guys. I'll let you guys tell everybody what's happened, and it shows that hard work pays off. Tell everybody what you've got coming up and what you've done in the last sort of 12 months, gig-wise.
Back last summer, we was offered a few support slots for the Stereophonics, leading up to the summer festivals. We were doing warm-up gigs for those, so we got on those. Great shows. I mean, this is what's happened with the album. We had to get something out for those tracks, for the shows. So what we did was we did what did we do, Rich? I'm getting all limited run of the album for those shows. And then we've taken it back down now. We want to start pushing it again for release next October. So that's what's going on there. Since then, we've done, you know, really well on those shows, and they've asked us to come and support them again. So we found out last week, pretty much week and a half ago, that they've asked us to go and do the 2 arena dates in Ireland with them, and 2 stadium shows in June as well. So 4 huge gigs for us, massive.
It's going to be, I think it's 92,000 people over 4 nights, which is a massive thing for a band like us, obviously. But I think the most important thing and the nicest thing of all was getting invited back. I mean, after the first two shows. It could have easily been, oh well, you know, nice local band, great mates of ours, and you know, we've given them an opportunity. But to have the recognition from the crew and the organisation behind the band, who, let's not forget, one of the, you know, the most important bands this country's ever produced in terms of longevity, songwriting, output, and the live show, and you know, that goes without sort of Kelly himself. But to get that, and for them to invite us back, not only to go to arena shows and stadiums, it is, I mean, the thing is, right, you can get to a certain point in this game at the moment, especially where things are really hard, but to be able to get to do this and have them go, well, you guys deserve to be here. It's not just the fact that we know you, it's this and that, it's you've worked hard. And you know, as Kelly said to me on the phone the other night, you know, in 6 years you haven't stopped. And to be self-labelled, I mean, you know, this band started off with a handful of songs, and me sitting by a computer coming up with logo designs and album covers, and then, you know, all the groundwork, sitting by a laptop 15 hours a day emailing people. And, you know, that is the work the bands have got to do these days now. It's not about just going in and turning up and having an A&R man going, here's 800 grand. Don't get me wrong, it has happened in the last few years for certain bands, and you know, but we've kept going, and it's more than anything else, it's the hard work you put in that we are seeing the fruits of that now. And as a band, I think, you know, it's the best. People have seen us last night 20, 30 times and said last night was the best they've seen us, you know. Oh, thank you.
And I'm going to ask if I pass the mic over to Evsy and Gav. The whole thing, you guys musically are not a million miles away from the Stereophonics, are you?
Absolutely not. No. I think we were in Margate, and we were actually talking to Kelly about it, and it's just crazy, you know, the comparisons that are made, and the Stereophonics always come up, you know. I can kind of understand it, but you know, the thing is, I think it's the same influences. I think we just come from the same place, you know. We don't sound the same, but we sound, like you said, you know, not a million miles away. I think it's just down to the influences, and yeah. Songwriting, it all comes from the same place, really, and yeah.
Well, I don't know what to say. I'm just fucking hungover, boy, sorry.
I think we all did last night.
Songs in it, I think it's
with the Stereophonics. Like, I grew up in the same street as Kelly and Stuart, and as the band, you know, got bigger and bigger as time went by, I was watching them, and they were my sort of, I was like an apprentice, if you like. I was just sitting on the side of the stage watching Stuart come on in the band, getting signed and going through all that. Yeah, like a bit of a stalker, like. But so it's for me, the influence, like I was speaking to Kelly when we did the Borderline show in December. He came along to the gig to watch us play, and I was chatting to him. Yeah, a couple of tracks. But as I said, like. I was talking to Kelly, he was saying, I can see so many similarities between you and Stuart. He said, not like copying him, he said, but you can see the influences there. And for me, like I said, I grew up watching those guys, and I learned to play watching them, do you know? So it's inevitable there's going to be some sort of connection there and an influence. But as like the guys are saying, I mean, we were all into the same bands, and like AC/DC is a theme of us as well. And the Stereophonics, because Kelly loved AC/DC and Stuart, you know, so it's inevitable really that the tracks are going to have similarities from the same village, you know.
When I played in the band with the boys, there was a little white tape with red writing on it, and it was a Creedence Clearwater Revival compilation, greatest hits thing, you know. And it was a tape that was always in the car. And when you listen to, you know, we'd have rehearsals, yeah, but we'd go down to the shop halfway through rehearsals and, you know, get a bloody cold Peter's pie or whatever, and go back. But you'd have Creedence on, and you'd have Neil Young on in the car, and you know, when you listen to Creedence and Neil Young and all these other bands that we grew up having on the jukeboxes and in our parents' record collections, it's inevitable that you know you're gonna pick up a guitar with a melody in your head. You'll play a C chord. You'll probably chuck an A minor and an F in there somewhere, because that's what you know. And then, oh, hang on a minute, we'll chuck a G and that'll be all right. But no. I mean, you know what we do with reinventing the wheel. We're going to take, you know, a newer version of the car. We might crash it a couple of times, like, but it'll have the same wheels, you know.
Excellent stuff. Just before I wrap up, I know you're quite busy with press. One thing I wanted to ask, personally, my favourite song, probably my top 10 songs of all time ever. One of my favourite songs is on your new album. Are you going to release it as a video or a single, maybe? All we have.
All we have, yeah. I've got some ideas at the moment. I'll discuss some with the boys in the van on the way home, but I haven't had a chance to think about it yet. But it's interesting, really, and a big shout out to Shane Williams and the Osprey Supporters Choir, because they sang on a song along with the Cum Dare male voices, and you know, for us, right, it's one of those songs. I just came up with it. A little quiet little thing, and I think it was the last one we recorded, because the boys pretty much learnt the song as we recorded it, and we never realised how it was going to come out. But for us, I think I've had people message me saying they were in tears listening to it, the emotive situation behind it. But we started off looking at, you know, I worked with the family of Johnny Owen, the Welsh boxer, and the similarities between him going to America to make his fortune and us being from a small Welsh place trying to make our fortune, if you like, you know, not necessarily monetary, but and I started thinking about what it means to be Welsh and have to bloody fight for things sometimes, because people see us as this small backward nation. We're got electricity and boys up there, and but you know, it's all about what it means. And I've been through a load of personal stuff over the last 8 years, which sometimes you think, how the hell do you get out of bed in the morning? And I could talk about that stuff all day, but it's got to be positive. And you know, when you think about the fact that, you know, the lyric we scream out loud to find a sound within our souls, it's not only a reference to the Welsh singing thing, but also the fact that sometimes you've got to really dig in deep just to be able to open your mouth in the morning and go, right, I've got to get out of bed. And it's you know, it's that analogy and all the other stuff involved in that song. But yeah, I'd like to think that we can get a local place where we live in, where we can get those choirs in, we can get a couple of child choirs in from schools and stuff like that, and really make a big dent with that song. And we'll keep it back, I think, now until we put the main release of the album out in October. But Shane Williams, you know, is on it, the Welsh rugby star. Yeah, amazing voice. No, It was quite funny, because I went down to record the choir with my 8-track and a couple of mics, and you know, like some bloody vagabond, I turn up, and he's being interviewed by S4C about choirs in Wales, which was crazy, and I'm giving these lyric sheets out to the choir. Big shout out to Grant Byrne, who arranged all this for me, by the way, and he said, "Oh, can I have mine, please?" So I said, "What do you want one for?" And he said, "Well, I'm in the choir." So he's actually singing on the album. So, you know, I mean, I think if we can, and he's agreed, you know, make a big fuss about that. But yeah, it's a song that I think for us, you know, it shows that we're not this sort of, you know, just a rock band, if you like, and we are. It's one of those. But for me, it's a song which I think could be so much bigger, and I'd love to be in a situation where I can see the whole crowd singing that, and you know, I mean. There's a great band called Powderfinger I love, who recorded their audience singing their song, and everybody's got lyric sheets, so they could take that recording back to the studio to finish the album off. And it's little things like that. I've got several ideas, but I think with the main release in October, we've got time to really do some nice things with it. So, you know, keep your eyes open, keep your ears open. I'll keep my mouth shut.
Watch this space. And just to clarify on that as well, anybody that doesn't believe me, go to iTunes and just download that song. I guarantee you'll want to buy the album after hearing that song. If you don't, I'll give you your money back for that song. Like, you know, I guarantee you'll want to download the album after it. It is. When it's available. It's not up.
Available. It's yeah.
It was on iTunes though, wasn't it?
It was on iTunes, but yeah. As I say, we put a limited release out with a view to doing things, you know, I'm going to say properly, in October. And but at the moment, you can get the 3 singles. There's Secondhand Soldiers out, Minute, and Your Summer Sun, which is out this week, obviously. But you know, there are very few physical copies bumping about. Get in touch with us. If you require one,
If I need, so can I put mine on eBay then and get some money? No, I'm joking.
If you do get the money from eBay, what you can do is, if you do get the hundreds of thousands of pounds that they're actually worth, you're quite welcome to give the money to Crisis, who are the homeless charity we do a lot of work for. Give them a shout out. But yeah, we'll be doing a gig on May the 19th actually in our home venue, which is to do with all the homeless crisis that's going on under that charity, which is is Alan McGee is the patron for that, the guy behind Oasis. So we've got that coming up in May. We've got the Welsh Cider and Perry Festival in Coldigod Castle, which we're headlining. We're going on to the first Welsh Fest, which is in July. And we've got some great dates around the country during March, so if this goes up live over the next few days, just keep an eye out for that.
Well, guys, I know you're pushed for time. I just want to say a quick thank you on behalf of Gavin, Ebsy, Matt and Rich. Thank you very much. This is Alistair from Underkill TV. Literally, the boys have got to go, so thank you very much, guys. Cheers.
Thank you very much, Alistair.
Cheers, Alistair.
You know it's hard to face this world, oh yeah, when you're feeling all alone. Up in smoke, up in smoke. This whole world's going up in smoke. Can't stay out of trouble, you got nothing else to do. And it's hard to not get paranoid when the TV